What is going on, everybody? I'm Gilberto from Credit Guys, the show where we talk all things credit and finance related. Today's video topic is going to be how to properly apply for an auto loan and when to correctly do so. So if you're interested in the video, be sure to stick around, like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. How to properly apply for a new or used vehicle and the best tactics in order to get approved, and not just get approved, but get the best rates as well. Number one is you want to know what your credit score is beforehand, before applying for anything. And the best way to figure out what your credit score is by using a credit monitoring app. My recommendations are going to be myfico.com or identityiq.com. Link will be below in the description. Once you've signed up for one of these services and you've checked and seen what your credit score is, now it's time to determine your eligibility. Things that you need to be aware of. Number one, is this your first time financing a vehicle? Right? Have you ever financed a car before, or have you usually paid cash for it? Or are you a new driver, right? Is this your first time applying for a vehicle in general? Right? What is your income? Right? Your income is going to play a role in whether you get approved or not. What price of the vehicle are you looking for, right? Are you going to go through a dealership, or are you going to go through a private seller? These are all things to consider when it comes to applying for a vehicle. Now, in order to make sure that you are best suited and you get the best rates and you get, the car that you want, once you determine what let's just say your income is $70,000, you have zero other debt, so you don't have any other credit card debt or anything like that. You have a couple credit cards that you've had for a couple years, and you rent where you live. Okay, perfect. This is going to be your very first auto loan. Well, on your very first auto loan, you typically are not going to get approved unless you're putting cash down for more than the amount of what you're making a year, typically. Now, let's just say in this instance, your credit is a 720 plus, right? So you've got top tier credit, you're making 70K, you've got no debt, beautiful. Relatively, you could probably get approved for anywhere from a $30,000 to a $50,000 car, maybe more. Just depends on, the banks that you're trying to get financing through. Now, my very first tip would be to always go with a credit union. Now, why do I say go with a credit union versus going through a dealership? Well, you can still go through a dealership, it's no problem, but keep in mind, when you shop around and you apply for a vehicle through a credit or through a dealership, that dealership wants to put you in that vehicle above all else, right? They're going to try to move heaven and earth to try and get you into that vehicle. And so that means that they are going to run your credit a bunch of times in giving you a bunch of hard inquiries, right? They're going to put you through their list of banks, available lenders that they're partnered with, to see which one will get you approved, and they're all going to come back with different offers and rates. So going through a dealership can be beneficial if you want to have options when it comes to getting approved. The downside is that you're going to get a bunch of inquiries because they're going to shop you around essentially. The reason I point towards a credit union first, and this is preferred that you actually build a relationship with a credit union, meaning go into a credit union, open a checking account, open a savings account, get a credit card with them, right? Put some money in the savings account, put some money in the checkings account. So right off the bat, they can tell that you're somebody who's serious, who is responsible, and that will let the underwriter know when you're applying for a loan that, okay, this guy checks all the boxes for a good candidate that we want to extend credit to. On top of that, they're only going to run your credit once. So let's say you found the vehicle of your dreams or that you want, right? And it costs $50,000. Well, you already know you don't have to haggle, you don't have to do anything. You just simply go into your credit union. You say, hey, this is the car that I want. This is the age of the car. This is the year it came out. This is how much they're asking. I would like a loan for $50,000. Underwriter's going to say, perfect, no problem. Let's get a couple bank statements from you. Let's get some tax documents possibly, And lastly, let's run your credit, right? Which is going to be above all the most important part. All right, so your credit has no negative items. Everything else looks good. You have the income. Okay, perfect. Here's your check for $50,000. All you have to do now is either go into the dealership or go to your private party, say, hey, I want to buy this vehicle. Here's the check for 50 grand, and you walk away with your vehicle, and then you make payments on your loan, right? Super easy and simple and straightforward. That's the way I would do it personally, right? If I had to start again and get a vehicle starting over. Some things to look out for when it comes to making sure you get the vehicle that you want is to always make sure you're buying from a reputable seller, right? Whether that be the dealership or whether that be a private party, make sure no shady stuff is going on. And then, like I said beforehand, make sure your credit is in order, because that's ultimately going to determine whether or not you get approved for that vehicle. Now, let's say you wanted to get into a $60,000 vehicle, right? But you don't have the credit history, or you don't have the, you just don't have the history of the age behind it. So what do? Well, the first thing you're gonna do is actually apply for a smaller loan vehicle. So that could be $25,000 to $30,000 to $40,000, right? So start off with a $30,000 vehicle and work your way up, meaning build your way up. So that $30,000 vehicle, what are you gonna do? You're gonna make payments on time for 6 to 8 months on that vehicle. After 6 to 8 months, you're gonna sell it, and then you're gonna apply for a double the amount of that vehicle. So if you got $30,000 loan last time, now apply for a $60,000 loan. And you keep doing that over and over and over to climb the vehicle loan tier list. So you go from 30 to 60, from 60 to 90, from 90 to 100. And then from there, after you're past 120, you can pretty much get approved for whatever you'd like, right? Not always, right? Unless you can afford it. But that's pretty much how I would apply for a new or used vehicle in today's day and age. Always know what your credit score is going in. Make sure you have some cash to put down if they ask. And if you took some value from this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Gilberto with Credit Guys.